Started. All right, all right. So in today's webinar, we're going to talk about a whole lot of stuff, and I need you to get two things ready for me, right? Just two things. I need you to get two things ready for me. First thing first is to get a pen and a jotter, right? Get yourself a pen and a jotter because we are going to learn, we are going to laugh, we are going to do a whole lot of things together, right? I saying I should leave the cap. Okay, I don't look handsome without the cap, right? So get yourself a pen and a jotter. Then after that, get yourself a bottle of water because you're going to learn, you are going to laugh. So keep away all distractions for now, right? Because today we want to talk about Excel and how you can monetize. So I want to use this opportunity to officially welcome you to the Ultimate Excel webinar. And this class is going to be in three sections or four sections. The very first section is talking about the theoretical aspect of Excel, right? The theoretical aspect of data analysis, Excel, and doing some other thing, right? Then the followed by the monetization process. How can we monetize our Excel skill, right? You need to have the skill before you can start making money. Do you understand? So how can I monetize the skill? We are going to talk about that. Then after that, we are going to see some projects and we are going to do it in real life. So what people are paying for, and I'm going to show you in real life what you need to do. So for instance, we are going to do forecasting, right? I'm going to show you a project on forecasting and how to solve it, right? I'm going to show you a project on visualization and how to solve it in the practical section. Then after the practical section, we'll go into the question and answer section, right? So now you can see what I have here. Master Excel. The very first thing is you need to have the skill, right? Master the skill, unlock opportunity, and build income. So I've been making a lot of money just by selling my Excel skill as a service, as a course, but I just don't do only Excel, right? But we are still going to get to the introduction aspect of myself. But the very first thing you should know is you need to master the skill, right? You need to master the skill, unlock the opportunity, and build income. A whole lot of people just master Excel. They don't know the opportunity that is there in Excel, right? And they don't know how to use it to build income. So most of them, they just learn Excel to get job, right? Go to 9 to 5 every single day. So it's not that way. I'm going to show you other ways you can use your Excel skill to make money, right? So let me know how many of us are ready. Are you ready for today's class? Are you ready now? Are you all ready? Let me know if you all are ready or we should be going home. Okay, we ready. All right. I just have 5 people totally in. Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, about the host, right? Who is this person? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Right? All right. So before we actually get started, let me just take a bottle of water, a sip of water, so that you know that we are in today, right? So let me just take a bottle of water before we actually move further. All right. So you can drink your own water too. Cheers. Okay, who is this guy? My name is Sani Akim Abiodun, right? I'm a computer instructor. I train people for a living. I train people, right? I'm also a data analyst. I'm fully into data analysis 24 hours. That's what I do every day. That's what I train. Data scientist, right? I train data science too. I get projects and I work on it using Python and R, right? Also a digital marketer. I run adverts on Facebook. I run adverts. I build landing pages for people. I also build websites with content management system. And the most important aspect of me is a freelancer. I'm also a freelancer, right? So I use platform like Fiverr and Upwork to get my freelancing gig. And we are still going to get there. Is there any difference between data analysis and data science? Yes, but just jot it down in your data. When we get to the question and answer section, I will answer all your questions. So I work with Digital World Tech Academy, and at Digital World Tech Academy, we've been able to train over 15,000 students last year, both online and offline. So we offer online training, just like this one that you are in, and we do physical training, whereby you walk into our office, we train you, you take your certificates, and you go, right? So we train people and organization on Microsoft Office packages, ranging from Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, G Suite, Publisher, everything in Microsoft Office packages. Data analysis, which is my own core field. I just love data analysis, right? That's my own core field. Digital marketing, I don't really use to trade digital marketing again, but I'm also a digital marketer, right? Web design and web development, cybersecurity, DevOps, cloud computing, business analysis. Yes, I'm also into business analysis too. Project management, and a whole lot more. In as much as you want to learn tech, right? We are actually here to help you. So in 2024, we were able to train over 3,000 students physically and more than 10,000 online with 5 organizations. So we also go to people's organization to do corporate training, right? So I'm a partner at Digital World. So we also go to people's organization to do corporate training. All right, let's talk a bit about Digital World before we actually get started. So about the institute, so if you are looking for me right here, let me try to increase my brightness. If you are looking for me right here, so this is me with my face cap and my uniform, right? I had not put it on today, right? So this is me right here. Just chat me up, Madam Christiana. So when we get to question and answer section, your face is clear, sir. Okay. About the institute, Digital World is an online and physical learning platform with the aim of making the tech skill affordable and accessible for everyone. And our mission is to make computer education very accessible and affordable to Nigerian and Africa in general. All right, so let's just get started now. Let's move straight into it. We don't want to waste too much of our time. Okay, so let's talk about the work of data analysis and how do we relate data analysis to Excel? How come we use Excel for data analysis? So we need to understand the basics of data analysis first before we can even go into Excel. So let's start with what is data analysis? What is data analysis? Now, we have data analysis, we have data analytics, right? Data analytics is the name of the field, right? Which is the field. Data analysis is a process, right? So it's a process. So now what is data analysis, right? What exactly is data analysis? Now, data analysis is the process of examining, organizing, transforming, and interpreting raw data to extract meaningful insights, identify patterns, and support decision making, right? Let me take it once again. Data analysis is the process of examining, organizing, transforming, and interpreting raw data to extract meaningful insights, identify patterns, and support decision making. Now, let's break it down one by one. Let's forget all that gibberish and break it down. Now, I said data analysis is the process of examining your data, right? It's the process of examining your data. Now, how do we examine our data, right? You should know that the moment you get your data, you want to know the type of data you are dealing with. Which type of data am I dealing with? Is this a sales data, right? Is this a retail data? Is this a questionnaire data? All those things are what you should know, right? You should know. You want to know the type of data that you are dealing with. Now, once you know the type of data you are dealing with, the next thing is, what do I want to get from this data, right? So there are some data you just want to get insight. You don't want to build visualization. You understand? There are some data whereby you want to build visualization. There are some data whereby you just want to do merging, right? All you just want to do is merge. There are some data whereby all you just want to do is cleaning the data. You just want to clean the data, right? Now, all those things are what you are going to get in the examination process, right? You are going to get it in the examination process. Examine your data, right? Now, after examining your data, the next thing you need to know is which software can help me to analyze this data very well, can help me to clean this data. Now, that is where Excel comes in. Now, we have different software that we use in the field of data analysis, right? We use Excel, we use Power BI, we use SQL, we use SPSS, we use Tableau, we use Power Query, right? Now, if you are going into the aspect of advanced data analysis, which is data science, right? We use something like Python, we use Pandas, we use Matplotlib, right? We use Seaborn, right? We use R also. We use MATLAB to deal with data. Now, during this process, you need to know the software that will help you to achieve what you want to achieve. So, do I need to use Excel for this type of analysis? Right? Let's say you want to build visualization. You can decide to use Excel to build your visualization. Let's say you want to do data cleaning. Now, you can use Excel for data cleaning, but for me, I actually don't use Excel for data cleaning. I use what we call Power Query to do my data cleaning, right? So you need to know the software that you want to use, the software that can help you to achieve it. So for instance, if you have a data set that is above 1 million, I don't recommend you using Excel. Above 1 million rows, I don't recommend you using Excel. Now, it's better for you to use something like Power BI, or you use Python to do it, because Excel can only take over a little bit over a million, right? A little bit over a million data. Now, if you load in over 1 million data set into Excel, it makes it lag. So that is one of the reasons why I don't recommend you using Excel. But if you are dealing with any data set that is less than 1 million, right, you can actually use Excel. All those things are what you need to know, right? After knowing the software, you need to know what you want to achieve. So if you want to do cleaning now, you know that, okay, I want to do cleaning. Which type of cleaning I want to do? Do I want to remove null value? Do I want to remove excess space? Do I want to extract the date? Right? All those things are what you know in the examination process. Now, after examining your data, the next thing is organizing your data, right? Organizing your data. Now, we should know that our data will not come from one department. So, for instance, let's say you are working with an organization that have different departments, right? Now, you know that your data will come from sales department, from the marketing department, from the finance department, right? From the HR department. So merging all these data together is what we call organizing. And if you are using Excel, we use something that we call VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP. If you know, so once we get to the monetization aspect, I'm going to show you some project that I've got that is on just, someone said I'm not audible enough. Is that correct? Can you guys hear me clearly? All right. Let me know here. Mr. Thomas, I think it's your network. All right. Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. So after organizing your data, the next thing is transforming your data. Transforming your data, which is cleaning your data, right? Cleaning your data. So you want to transform your data. Now, most of the time, as an analyst, we spend most of our time transforming data, that is, cleaning our data. You understand? Because you can't get a good insight if your data is not clean, right? You can't get what? A good insight if your data is not clean. So you need to do your data cleaning, right? Then after cleaning your data, that is when you start interpreting your data to get insights. Now, it's not all our data that we get insights. There are some data whereby we want to identify the pattern. We want to do clustering, right? We want to do clustering. Now, not all this that you're doing is to support decision-making of an organization. Now, all the organization, in fact, most of the organization now are taking their businesses online, right? And if they are taking their businesses online, there's no way they will be able to make decisions if they don't get their data. So it's just like if you want to buy a pair of shoes now, the very first thing you do is you look at your account balance. Do I have the money to pay for this? Or you want to get a new car, right? So you have to check your account balance. Do I have the money to pay for this? You understand? That is the same thing with the companies or organization. Now, data analysis involves a range of techniques and tools depending on the type and complexity of the data, which was what I explained here in data examination while examining your data, and as well as the goal of data of the analysis, right? So you need to know what you want to achieve with the analysis, right? So do we all understand what data analysis is all about now? Do we all understand what data analysis is all about? Yes or no? So if someone should come to you now that, okay, oh, Mr. This or Mrs. That, what is data analysis? You should be able to explain something, right? That is great, that's great, that's great. That shows that you are here with me, right? You are here with me. So if you don't have water, just send me a DM, right? I can send them to give you more water, and I have battery water, right? I have battery water for all of you. Cheers, right? So if you don't have water, pure water, no, I don't take pure water. So I have battery water. I call it virtual water. So all you just have to do is send me a DM, and I'll send it to you on your WhatsApp. Don't worry, you're going to receive it. Okay, so let's move forward to the types of data analysis. Types of data analysis. I should give you code Fanta. When you come to our office, I promise you malt and meat pie. That's what I used to take for my lunch. Don't worry. Okay, if you can come to our office, I promise you I promise you what? Malt and what? Meat pie. I eat meat pie a lot. So now let's move forward. That is why you can't see my neck. A lot of people have been complaining that Akim, you don't have neck again. So because of meat pie, the meat pie has choked me. Okay, let's move forward. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. Now, okay, types of data analysis. What are the types of data analysis? The very first one is descriptive analysis. That is where we all start from. That is where we all start from. As an analyst, in fact, most of your projects, most of the projects I've gotten, and most of the projects I'm still going to get, they are going to be on descriptive analysis. That is describing what has happened in the past. That is what descriptive analysis focus on. What has happened in the past. So if I'm selling this water, right? What is my total revenue for last month? What is my total revenue for last 2 months? What is the total quantity? Right? What is the total quantity? What is the cost? Right? So, but how much am I spending on distribution? You understand? So you need to know all those things. That is descriptive analysis. So if you have a business or a company that's selling a bottle of water, right? I want to know all this information. Now, you should know that, okay, this type of water, we have some people that actually don't have it in Ghana, right? This type of water, Navana, right? Sometimes there are some type of water that you will get to Ghana, and in Nigeria, you won't see it, right? There are some type of water that when you get to Cameroon, in Nigeria, you are not going to see it. There are some type of water you get here in Nigeria, but you are not going to get it in Cameroon, in UK, right? In London. Different type of water, right? And they might be the same producer, right? They might be the same person producing that. Now, how did they know that, okay, here in Nigeria, this product is performing very well, but it's not performing very well in Ghana, right? How would they know that this product is performing very well in Kenya, but it's not performing very well in Nigeria? Now, that is descriptive analysis, right? They have some basic information about the production, about where their product is performing very well, right? That is descriptive analysis. They know what has happened. So we sold about 50 pieces here in Nigeria. Then when we get to Ghana, we sold only 2. Now, which means this product, Ghana people don't like it, right? We need to look for another product that we are going to sell to Ghanaians, right? That is descriptive analysis, focusing on what has happened in the past, right? What has happened in the past. So descriptive analysis summarizes past data to understand what has happened over a period of time. And in descriptive analysis, that is where we build something like visualization, right? That's where we build visualization, because you need to have an existing data before you can build visualization. How many people here can explain visualization? Let me see the very first person that will win my virtual water. If you explain it very well, I have a lot of virtual water that I want to give. How many people? Just type it. Just type it. What do you understand by visualization? If I say, I want to create a visual of this thing, right? What do you understand by visualization? Do you have anybody? My virtual water is going, going visual data on set. Okay, no, I'm not allowing you to unmute now. Representing information in chart and graph. That is great. That is great. That's great. Dashboard. Yes, visualization is more of dashboard, right? But we can't just call it dashboard, right? So it's a graphical representation of your data. So if you have a raw data, you want to represent the information in a virtual way. So for instance, let me show you an example of a visualization, right? let me show you an example of a visualization. I'm coming. Let me just try to look for my project. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, let me just type it here. Project. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to open Power BI. Okay, let's come here. So, think this is supermarket project. Now, if you look at something like this is an example of a visualization. Now, you have the raw data, right? You have the raw data. This is the raw data. But your investor, right, will not understand what this actually means. So you need to put it in a graphical representation, right? You need to visualize your data so that they'll be able to know, okay, this is total revenue. This company is actually doing great. They were able to generate $11 million, right? Over $11 million with just 37,000 total sales and just 9,993 transactions, right? They'll be able to know. So now they have their sales trend by month, the total transaction by each location. Now, this is where they will know that, okay, this product is not performing very well in this particular location, right? Because they have it based on the location, right? So a visualization is a what? A graphical representation of your data. Is a graphical representation of your data. That is an example of what? A descriptive analysis, trying to explain what has happened in the past, right? So the next thing that we have is what we call diagnostic analysis. Diagnostic analysis. Now, why does this happen? If I'm not making a sales, why am I not making a sales? Now, after doing your descriptive analysis, you've already described your data, you've gotten insight from your data. Now, you want to know the reason why a certain event happened. That's what we call diagnostic analysis. You are now looking deeper into it. Okay, why does this happen? Why am I not making sales? Why are we having low revenue? Right? Why are we having high cost? You understand? So you want to know the reason behind a certain event. That is what diagnostic analysis. That is diagnostic analysis. The next thing is what we call predictive analysis. Predictive analysis. Predictive analysis also depends more on descriptive analysis. Now, what is predictive analysis? Predictive analysis focuses more on what might happen in the future. So, for instance, I'm a freelancer. I used to get about 2 to 3 gigs. That is 2 to 3 projects per week, right? By sending 10, 15 proposals, right? So I used to send about 10, 15 proposals every day. And at the end of the day, I get about 3, 4 projects that I work on weekly basis. Now, if I want to start, let's say I gave this data set to a machine learning algorithm or to Excel to forecast for me, to predict what my gig acquisition will be, that is my project, getting project will be in the next 2 months, right? That is an example of predictive analysis, trying to predict what will happen in the future, right? So, for instance, weather forecast is an example of a predictive analysis. Have you ever seen a weather forecast news whereby they are going to tell you that, okay, it's going to rain in Lagos tomorrow, and at the end of the day, you are in Lagos, but there's no rain. There's nothing like rain. Have you seen something like that? Right? How many people even used to watch weather forecast? Most people now are on TikTok, right? Don't worry. You're on TikTok, you're on Facebook. Is that correct? It happened today, right? That is great. Now you will see. That is an example. Now you should know that predictive analysis is not 100% accurate, right? It's not 100% accurate. Now, in machine learning, if I'm training machine learning, I used to tell my students, if you run a machine learning code and the algorithm give you 100%, that is, it's 100% accurate, don't you ever use that algorithm, because it's not normal for an algorithm, for a machine learning algorithm to predict something accurately. It's not normal, right? So you can't use something that is showing you 100%, right? Because prediction doesn't, like, we are still going to do a practical aspect of it using Excel, right? Prediction is not always accurate. So sometimes you might get something higher than that, or sometimes you might get something lower than that. So if I predict the sales for your company, sometimes you get higher than that, sometimes you get lower than that. But it's on rare case that you get exact amount that I predicted for you. That's an example of what? A predictive analysis, predicting the future outcome. Now, after that, we have what we call prescriptive analysis. Prescriptive analysis. Now, for instance, I sell this bottled water, right? I sell this bottled water, and my machine learning algorithm predicted to me that, okay, I'm going to sell over 50 pieces in one day. Let's say I used to sell 10 every day, right? Now, my machine learning algorithm predicted that, okay, I'm going to sell over 50 pieces, right? Over 50 pieces. Now, prescriptive analysis focus more on what are my actionable steps, right? What are the actionable steps? What step do I need to take for me to be able to achieve what machine has already predicted for me, right? So if I used to spend 5,000 on my ad, I know that, okay, I need to increase it to 10,000 for me to be able to achieve what that machine has predicted. So if I used to do, like say, delivery once a day, I know I need to increase it to twice or 3 times, right? Now, prescriptive analysis focus on what are your actionable steps, right? What are your actionable steps? Don't worry, just jot. You understand? At the end of the program, I'll tell you how to get the slide. That's not the problem. The slide, you can get it. It's totally free, right? At the end of the program, I'll show you how to get the slide. You don't have to rush yourself. All right. Now, are we still with me? Are we still following? Now, this is still talking about getting the skill, right? All right. Okay. All right. Are you sleeping? If you are sleeping, you better wake up. If you don't want me to pour you battery water, right? I'll pour water on your head, or you see me in your house now. Don't underestimate me. You just see me in your house. I'll bust your teeth. I will remove your teeth. If you are sleeping, better, right? So before you see me in your house now. Okay, now let's talk about tools used by an analyst. What are the tools used by an analyst, right? So the very first thing, right, that I advise my students to start with is Excel. Now, I know we have a lot of organization, a lot of tech institutes that we start with you. I had a student sometimes last year, and the guy was like, he went to a tech school, I'm not going to mention that school, and they started with Python. I was like, why? How will you start with someone that is just totally new with Python, and the person wants to learn data analysis, right? You are starting with Python. It doesn't actually make sense, right? So for all my students, what I always advise them to do is start with Excel, right? Start with what? Excel. Excel is like the basics. You need to have a very good understanding of Excel. You want to learn SQL, you need to be very, very good with Excel, because there are some things that we use in SQL whereby I will go back to Excel to remind you of the formula, right? That, okay, let's say there's an instance whereby we want to write the average in SQL. Though we are writing the code in SQL, right? So we want to do average in SQL. So I will take you back to Excel, because you understand Excel very well. You know how the average formula works, right? So I can just show you in Excel. So by the time we get to SQL, we are now writing it in code. You already know that, okay, this is average, but in SQL, this is how to write code, right? But let's also say we want to talk about mean in Python. Now, note, in Python, we use mean. In SQL, we use AVG, average, to get average. Mean and average, they are the same thing. And in Excel, we use average, right? We use average. In Power BI, it's also average. Now, if you have a very good understanding of Excel, by the time you are writing this code, it becomes easier for you because you have a background knowledge of it. Another thing is, Excel is most popular for beginners and professionals. right? A lot of people. Now, the reason why I love Excel is I've gotten over 100 projects on Excel alone. Yes, I've gotten project on Power BI, I've gotten project on SQL, I've gotten a lot of project on Python, right? True. But most of my projects are on Excel. Most of my projects are on Excel because most organizations now they are storing their information on Excel. Like there was a project I did last 2 months. Was it last month on VBA? I wrote a VBA code for a tech school. No, for a school in Canada, not a tech school. It's just normal school in Canada, and all their students' information they store it only in Excel. Now, the VBA code was just to help them calculate their first semester, the second semester, the third semester, the CGPA, and generate transcripts. Right? Now, if you don't have a good understanding of Excel, all these type of projects, they are something you won't be able to take. Right? So Excel is powerful, easy to use, very, very easy to use, and perfect for data analysis. You want to create visualization, you can use Excel to create visualization. You want to do data cleaning, you can use Excel to do data cleaning. You want to do merging, you want to merge two data together, right? You can use Excel to do it. That is why we have something like VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, index and match, HLOOKUP, right? It helps you to organize, clean, and analyze data quickly with tools like pivot table. Now, it helps us to do that easily with pivot table, right? With pivot table. Now, it's not like SQL whereby you have to write a long list of code, and it's not like Python whereby you have to write a long list of code because you want to create pivot table. It's very easy to use. Pivot table charts, there are a lot of charts there that you can use, right? An advanced function. So I tell my students, if you are using the lower version of Excel, right? If let's say you want to come into the field of freelancing and you are using the lower version of Excel, for instance, let's say you are using 2013, I'll advise you don't even bother coming into this field. Though there are some projects that you can work on, but you need latest Excel, right? Like 2021, 365, just so that you can get opportunity to work on more projects. And now I put here, no coding needed, right? If you see, I said no coding needed. So you don't need to have any coding experience, right? Though there are coding aspect of Excel, but if you are just starting, you don't need any coding. You don't need coding at all. There's nothing like coding in Excel, but there's still coding aspects, which we call VBA, Visual Basic for Application. I'm still going to get there when we get to that aspect. Another tool is what we call the SQL, the Structured Query Language, that we use to manage and query a large database. So for instance, let's say you order something on Amazon, right? So where do you think your information goes to? You order a shoe on Amazon. I love shoes. You order shoes on Amazon, or bags for ladies, for your girlfriend, or for yourself, right? Or for your wife. So where do you think your information goes to? How do you think Amazon gets to know that, okay, Mr. ABC has ordered shoes, or Madam so-so has ordered bag? How do you think they get to know? Are we still here, my people? Are we still here? How do you think Amazon gets to know that, okay, Mr. A has ordered shoe, or Mr. B has ordered bag? Where do you think your information goes to? Where? Do you have idea? Database. Thank you. Their information goes directly into the database, right? It goes directly into where? The database. Now, if their information goes to the database, then we need someone that can manage and interact with the database, right? So we use SQL. And the people that use SQL, let me tell you, web developer, they are going to say that, oh, you are going to learn SQL, but they don't know SQL as good as data analysts. If you are a data analyst, you need to be better than web developer. Web developer just connect the websites to the database. They don't query database, right? So if I say query is sending a request to the database. So I want people that order shoe today. That is a request, right? You are sending a request to the database. Do you understand? So we use SQL to interact with what? With the database. So analysts use it to retrieve information, write, filter information, and manipulate data stored in a relational database. When we get to SQL, we have two types of database, relational and non-relational database. But we are not talking about that now. So there's another one that we call Power BI. So basically, Power BI is used to create visualization, right? It's used to create visualization. And we have some people that use Tableau, right? But for me, I don't use Tableau. I prefer to use Power BI. Why? Because it was developed by Microsoft. And we can integrate, there's Power Query inside it, right? There's Power Query in Excel, there's Power Query in Power BI. So if I want to do my data cleaning, I don't need to go to Excel to clean my data. I can actually clean it in Power Query, the one in Power BI, and load it straight into my Power BI to visualize. So Power BI is a business intelligence tool that we use to visualize our data. Who says Tableau is hard? No, Tableau is not hard, right? It's not hard. So we have I wanted to mention something now, but I forgot because of what type, but I will still remember. Now, the last one I'm going to talk about is Python, which is what I love the most. I love writing Python code, right? I love writing Python code. And now I'm using Python to do a lot of other things apart from data science, right? So you can also use Python to do a lot of other things apart from data analysis, which we use on a library called Pandas, right? We use Matplotlib to visualize our data. So see your Pandas. If you're writing a Python code, see Pandas as Excel, right? The whole of Excel inside Python is called Pandas. Now, remember I said Power BI is a visualization tool. So see Matplotlib and Seaborn as a visualization tool, as your Power BI. Now, what about R? Yes, R is similar to Python, right? If you know Python, R is very, very simple. The only difference here is in Python, we use equals to, but in R, we use equals to, then greater than. Simple. Every other thing is the same thing. Maybe I'll show you some R code and Python code when we get to the practical section. I write R code and I write Python code, right? But the moment you are good with Python, R becomes so easy because almost everything is inside R. What about NumPy? NumPy stands for numerical Python. They are used to deal with matrices, right? NumPy array. Which one is easier between the two? That depends on you. But when we get there, don't worry. Let's get there. Now, let's go into the world of Excel. Python, which one is easier? They are both easy for me, right? There's nothing hard. If you are good with Python, R is so easier, right? Now, what is Microsoft Excel? What exactly is Microsoft Excel? What is Microsoft Excel? Now, let's go into that. What is Microsoft Excel? Now, Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet program used to record and analyze numerical and statistical data, right? Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet program that we use to record numerical and statistical data, right? So, someone said they can't see my screen. Is that correct? Can you all see my screen? Let me know. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Don't let me come to your house. So before you know now, you see me in your house if you are sleeping, right? Okay, can you all see my screen? All right, that's good. Very clear. Okay, I think it's your network, ma'am. So Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet program used to record, analyze numerical and statistical data sets, right? So Microsoft Excel provides multiple features, right, to perform various operations like calculation, pivot table, graph tool, and macro programming. Now, why do we call it spreadsheet? That's actually the very first question that will come to your mind. Why do we call Excel spreadsheet? Now, to explain this, I'm going to open my Excel. So I'm going to move out of here and open my Excel, right? Because we are going into the practical section. There's nothing like talking and talking and talking. Let's show it. Show workings. Is that not what they say in Nigeria? Right? Stop talking and show workings. Right? Okay. All right. Are you learning something? Are you learning something? Let me know if you are learning and enjoying yourself. Or do you think we should add some music? You want to see me dancing that my chair used to roll, so I love to roll it and I can lean backward right? So, all right. Are you enjoying yourself? Are you enjoying yourself? Okay. Go back to Python. We are going to Python. Just wait a bit. All right. So now, why do we call it a spreadsheet program? Why do we call it a spreadsheet? Now, how many of you can do this? Your child will just spoil you. You need meat pie. No, but when I get to the office tomorrow, Sunday, I can't access meat pie now. I don't have meat pie in my house. Okay, now why do we call it a spreadsheet program? Right? Why do we call it a spreadsheet program? Now, we call it spreadsheet because if you are working with Microsoft Word, we use what we call document, right? We use what we call document. If you are working with PowerPoint, something like this, right? We use slide, right? We use slide. Now, if you are working with Excel, we work with sheet. We work with sheet. That's why we call it spreadsheet or worksheet. Do you understand? We work with sheets. That's why we call it spreadsheet or worksheet. So if you're writing a VBA code, what we always use, we don't use spreadsheets. We use worksheets, right? We do workbook.worksheet.range, something like that. That's if you're writing a VBA code to reference a particular sheet. Do you understand? To reference a particular sheet. Maybe when we get to the practical section, I might show you some VBA code so that you see how we reference a sheet. Now, we work with spreadsheets. In real life, we call it spreadsheets, but to Excel, to VBA, they recognize it as what? Worksheet. So, but they are still the same thing. They are still the same thing. But don't say, because I said spreadsheet is the same thing as worksheet. All right, I'm back. Sorry for that. Now, like I said, right? Yes, can you all hear me now? Sorry for that. I'm back. Now, we call it spreadsheet because we make use of sheets. Like I was saying, like I said, if you are writing your VBA code, we do something like worksheet. We make use of worksheet. Now, let's go back to my slide. Like I said here now, I said an Excel spreadsheet can be understood as the collection of columns and rows that forms a table. Alphabetical letters are usually assigned to the columns, while numbers are usually assigned to what? The rows. The point where row and column meet is called a cell. The address of a cell is given by letter representing the columns and number representing the rows. Now let's go back to Excel now and explain that. Now, like I said Excel spreadsheet contains what? Columns and row. And the alphabetical letter are usually assigned to what? The column. So here you can see column A, column B, column C, column D, column E, and the likes. So I said I can't see your screen. Is that correct? Can you all see my screen? All right, that's great. So, and we have the row, right? Now, the row are the numbers. Row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. And now, you can see all this line. Can you all see this line? Now, this line that you see here is called the grid line, right? It's called the grid line. This grid line will not show if you are printing, right? Except you have a borderline. But the reason why we have this grid line is so that it can demarcate our cell. Now, what is a cell? A cell is the intersection of rows and column, where both row and column meet. So if I have column A, row 1, they both meet here, right? So I'll call this cell, I'm in column A, row 1. I'll call this cell A1 because I'm in column A, row 1. Do you understand? So if I move down to this place, I'm in column B, row 4, right? So this cell will be called B4. This is cell B4, right? If I move down here now, this is D7. Now I want to give out virtual water again. Which cell am I now? Which cell is this? I'm not asking the professionals. I'm asking the people that are new people. K, is it K10? No, this is F10, right? This is column cell F10. Now, clap for yourself, clap for yourself, clap for yourself. We are making progress. Clap for yourself now. Clap for yourself now. Do you want me to come to your house and bust your mouth? The person that is talking like, it's better you clap before I will come to your house and bust your mouth now. You people are afraid. That's it. You see now. You are afraid. Everybody started clapping because I said, I'll come and bust your mouth. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Well done. Don't worry. I will not come to your house again. Okay. That is okay. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'll not come to your house again. No, I'm not coming to bust your mouth. All right. Okay. Let's move forward. Now, let's talk about why should I study Microsoft Excel? Right? Out of all these things, why should I study Microsoft Excel? Now, why do I actually even go for Microsoft Excel webinar in the first place? Right? Now, this is based on the experience, right? But I'm still going to show you some things there, right? You have a big dog at home. Your dog will not know when I will enter now. So Excel isn't just about numbers, right? Excel isn't just about numbers. It is about opportunities, right? It is about what? Opportunities. Where are these people now? It is about opportunities. And we all deal with numbers daily, right? Now, I cannot even think of it that a lot of people knows Excel, but they don't make money with it. Whereby we have a whole lot of projects that are playing around, right? So we all deals with number in our daily life, right? Whether it's managing expenses, budgeting income, or tracking a goal. But what most people never go beyond is the basic math. A lot of people just don't go beyond learning Excel. They don't think of, okay, what is the point of learning a skill? It's to make money with it. So how can I make money with this skill that I learn? If I'm learning a new thing, how can I make money with it? That's what I'll be thinking of, right? Now, this is where Excel becomes powerful. With Excel, you are not just organizing data. You are gaining a tool that businesses, entrepreneurs, and individuals are willing to pay for, right? You want to manage your own finance better, right? Excel is there to help. Want to offer services to others? Excel is there to help. This one, I do it every day, right? You want to sell digital products? I sell digital products. When I first started, right, the very first thing that I did was I recorded over 40 videos and I was selling it, right? I recorded over 40 videos and I was selling it. That is selling a digital product. 40 videos just on Excel alone, and I was selling it. And I was making my money on daily basis just by selling the course. Until today, I'm still selling that course. I'm still selling the course till today. And I told you the course, I recorded it 3 years ago, right? I recorded it 3 years ago. What I just do now is just to update it, add more formulas to it. Simple as that. And I'm still selling it till today. Now, offer my product as a service, right? Offer the skills that I have as a service. I'm still doing it till today, right? Don't worry, how do you sell the course? We are going together. Now, learning Excel means learning how to solve real life problems, and every problem can be turned into income. So, for instance, if I have a problem and I come to you, right? You are going to ask me, let's say, for instance, I have my car. Let's say I want to change oil filter in my car. And I took my car to a mechanic, and the mechanic, do you think the mechanic is going to do it for me for free? Right? Let's say you are the mechanic. Are you going to do it for me for free? Because, oh, this is Mr. Hakim. Let's do it for free. They are going to give you the oil filter for free, right? Answer now. No. So you can't do it for free. Someone said yes. This Michael Messi is actually the very first person that we even charge higher, right? So now, if anybody comes to you with a problem, you are going to pay, right? When is the class going to end? We are going to end the lesson by 10. All right. So let's move forward now. Let's see the top companies that are using Microsoft Excel before we go into the basic Excel tools that you need to know, right? The very first big company that are using Excel is Amazon. How do I know? That is the question. How do I know? That's because I have a student that works with Amazon. And the only thing that links us together is Excel, right? The only thing that connects us is Excel. I have a student that works, not one, not two, rather, right? Not one, not two, that works with Amazon. Another one is Signal. I actually don't have any business. I actually don't have any student that work with Signal, but I've gotten one project from them before. One. Yes, I'm not going to lie. We have another one called Deloitte, right? I have students that work with Deloitte. one student work with Deloitte. One student, oh, I said one, right? She's a female. She works with Deloitte, right? Intel, JP Morgan, Microsoft. What do you expect Microsoft to use, right? What do you expect Microsoft to use? They are going to use Excel. We are going to get there. Morgan Stanley, PayPal, right? Right? Morgan Stanley, PayPal, Tesla, United States Bank, a lot of these companies, right? A whole lot of them. These are just few. If you go to research sites like IBM, you are going to see a lot of other companies that works with Excel. Now, let's move forward. Let's move forward. Now, let's talk about Microsoft Excel terminologies. Now, if you want to learn Excel, what are the basic terminologies you need to know, right? What are the basic terminologies we need to know, right? What are the basic terminologies we need to know? So the very first thing is a cell, and I've explained the cell for you, right? I've explained a cell for you. So a cell is the intersection between the row and column. And I told you we have just a slight above 1 million. So if you see here, we have over 1,048,576. How do we get to know that? Let me show you that in Excel itself. So if I press Control down arrow, this will take me to the end here. You can see we have 1,048,576 row. So which means if you have any data that is 1,100,000, Excel is not going to take it. 1,050,000, Excel is not going to take it, right? So that is when, if you remember, I was talking about examining your data, knowing the type of software that will help you. So if you are dealing with a data that has 1,500,000 rows, you are not going to use Excel because Excel cannot do it, right? Excel cannot do it. Now, after a cell, we have another thing that we call a range. Range. Now, what do we call a range? A range is a group of cells. A range is what? A group of cells. So let me go to my Excel now. If I select one cell, we call it a cell, right? But by the time it becomes 2, 3, 4, 5 like this, it becomes a range, right? So a range is a group of cells, right? A range is a group of cells. So that can be data. Now, if they give you five years data sets, right? Imagine Amazon data set. It's going to be over 1 million now. So now, like I said, a group of cells is called what? A range. A group of cells is called a range. And you can also call it an array, right? Is either you call it a range or an array. Now, apart from that, we have what we call, you can either call it a range or an array. It's still the same thing, right? It can be called a range or an array. Now, another thing is what we call worksheets, right? A worksheet is where Excel stores your text, your numbers, your formulas, and the likes. That's where Excel stores it, right? So something like this is called a worksheet. It's called a worksheet. Now, apart from worksheets, we have workbook, right? We have workbook. So a workbook is a group of worksheets that is stored in Excel file, right? So if you save an Excel file now, it's called a workbook. So for instance, all this Excel that you see right here, right? This one Excel, this is a VBA code. So don't worry about it. This Excel, this is another Excel, right? So it's called a workbook, right? A workbook can contain multiple spreadsheets, like this one now. We have the sample data spreadsheet, the KPIs, the charts, right, and the dashboard, right? So this is what, these are 4 sheets. So it can either be called a workbook or an Excel file. All right, after that, we have what we call ribbons. Ribbons are the graphical menu interface for the commands we perform. So for instance, ribbons are the tools we use in Excel. If you are going to farm, you are going to carry cutlass, all those things, right? They are your tools. The same thing with ribbons. So if you go to Excel now, we have our ribbons here. These are the tools that we work with in Excel. And these things up here that you see here, they are called the tabs. So each tab has its own ribbon. So if I move from the home to the insert tab, we have the insert ribbon. If I go to the page layout tab, we have their ribbon, right? If I go to the formula tabs, we have the ribbons, right? So we have that there also. Another thing is what we call the functions. Now, function is a group of formula. So for instance, if I go to Excel now, let's say I want to say if something is good. Let's say, okay, we have a score here now, a score, right? So you are writing an exam, JAMB, and let's say the average score is what? The average score is how many worksheets are there in Excel? We have countless worksheets. Now, worksheets can be, it depends on your system storage. That's how we determine the number of worksheets that you have. So there's no specified amount of spreadsheet that you can create. So let's say you are writing an exam and the average score is 50. So if you score less than 50, you want to say no. If you want to say fail, if you score above 50, you want to say pass. So for instance, give me a score. Just give me a score. Score me now. How can you rate me? How can you get my Excel skill? 15 out of 100. Rate my Excel skill. Someone said 89. All right. So let's put 89 here. Thank you. Let's just put 89. Wait, I know I'm better than that, but let's put 89. All right. So I want to say, okay, if my Excel skill is good, if my Excel skill is above 50, then you are good. Anything less than 50, you are average. So let's just do it like that. So an example of a formula, I'll say equals to if, right? So whenever you want to use any formula in Excel, right? Whenever you want to use any formula in Excel, we start with equals to. Whenever you want to do any calculation in Excel, you start with equals to. So equals to if this score is greater than or equals to what? 50. Then we are going to say, okay, you are good. Or let's say you are an expert. Expert, right? If the score is less, we are what? You are average. Then you close your bracket and press enter. So here you see expert. But let's say you come tomorrow now. I want to talk about Mr. David's skill. Let's say, Mr. David, this is just, don't be annoyed though. I'm just kidding, right? I know you are good with Excel. But let's say your score is 45, right? Now, this will give you what? Average. This is an example of a formula, right? Now, let me write another formula. Let's say I want to get today's date, right? So I can use equals to today. Right? Equals to today. Close my brackets. Nothing is inside it. Press enter. This will give me today's date. If I want to get today's date and the time, I can say equals to now. Right? Open and close my bracket. Nothing there. Press enter. This will give me today's date and the exact time. Now, a formula, a group of formula that is performing the same, like similar thing. Right? A group of formula that are performing similar thing. Just for instance, this today and now, right, is what we call function. Do you understand? So if you have a group of formula that are performing the same thing, right, that are performing the same thing is what we call function, right? Is what we call function. Do you get it now? Is what we call function. So if you go to the formula tabs, right, if you go to the formula tab, you can see there are different functions, like financial function, logical function. So the if that I wrote here, right? The if that I wrote here is part of logical function. We have the text function where we have the text till today, the concat, right? The text before, text after, all those ones under text function. We have date and time function, right? Date and time function, that is where we have the days, e-date, EO month, today, now, next work day, right? Work days, all those ones, they perform similar function. So anything that you are going to see under this date function now, they are dealing only with date, right? So that's what we call what? A function. A group of formula is what we call a function. Now, let's go a little bit into advanced Excel. Let's go a little bit into advanced Excel, right? If you are going into advanced Excel, we have what we call, are you people still here? Are you enjoying yourself? Are you learning something new? Are you learning? We have some Google here that all these things that I'm doing, they are just basic, right? Let me know. Okay. I'm serious, right? I'm getting too serious. No, my training, I don't used to be serious like this. Okay, let's play a little bit, right? Oh, yeah, I know. Okay, now, the next thing is, if you are going into advanced, if you are going into advanced Excel, we have something that we call a table. A table, right? A table. What is a table? A table shows relationship between your data. So it tells Excel that all these data are related. Now, for instance, let me just clear everything that I have here. So for instance, let's say I have my name here, Akim, and I put Abiodun here. Now, it's still the same person that bears this two name, right? But to Excel, Excel sees each cell differently. That is, this cell is different from this cell. This cell is different from this one. It's different from this one. Now, how can you tell Excel that a particular range of data are related? They are similar. They are the same thing. That's when we put it in a table. Do you understand? So a table basically tells Excel, okay, all these things that you see, they are what? They are related. That is what we use table to do. Right? Are you still following? Now, apart from that, we have another thing that we call pivot table. We have another thing that we call pivot table. Now, a pivot table, if you are learning Excel, you need to know pivot table. Right? We need to know pivot table. Now, a pivot table is a powerful tool that help us to summarize and analyze our data set. Right? It helps us to summarize and analyze our data set. It's basic drag and drop. This is the image here. And in the data set I showed you, let me see. Though we are still going to talk about pivot table tonight, but let me just show you an example. In this data, in this visualization that I created here, this is an example of a pivot table. Now, all these things that I see here, they are an example of a pivot table. If you see it right here, right? This is an example of a pivot table. All you just have to do is basic drag and drop, right? It's basic drag and drop. You are not doing anything more. So that is an example of a pivot table. Another one is what we call, can I give you food to chop? I'm coming to your question. All right, the next thing is what we call Power Query, right? I want to have the opportunity to show you Power Query because of our time, and we still have other things to cover. So Power Query is an ETL software. Basically, we use Power Query to clean data, right? We use Power Query to clean data. And we have Power Query inside of Excel, and we also have it inside of Power BI. So we use Power Query to do what? To deal with our data cleaning, right? That is Power Query. Another thing is what we call the macros and VBA. Macros and VBA. So let me show you an example. Now, if you are looking at my Excel tab here, if you are looking at my Excel tab, you will notice something that I have right here, right? Which is this CGPA calculator, right? CGPA calculator. This was the project that I was telling you about. I did this project for a school, right? And it's going to help them to calculate their first semester, the second semester, the third semester, the final semester, the CGPA, and generate a transcript to Microsoft Word, in which all they just have to do is they will just save it. So the moment they load their data into Excel, all they have to do is click on first semester, click on second semester, third semester, final semester, and it's going to calculate it for them. Then click on this CGPA calculator, it's going to calculate the CGPA. And if they want to generate the transcript, all they just have to do is generate this transcript, and it's going to put the student's name, right? The student's name, and also the student grade, and all the necessary information, right? This is an example of a VBA. Now, you won't have it. This is a project that I work on. That is why you still have it. I still have it on my Excel, right? I work on another VBA project, which was for developed for an organization whereby if they transfer students from one location to another location, it generates a PDF that contains all the information about the student, a student that is transferred. So this is an example of a VBA. So let me show you how the VBA environment looks. So you won't have it, but if you go to the developer tab, right, you have the macros, and this macros is used to record an event. So we are going to get there, right? And we have the Visual Basic, which is where we write our VBA code, right? All we just have to do is click on module, click on insert, and I want to insert a module, right? This is where we write our VBA code. This is where we write our VBA code. Now, this is advanced Excel, right? So you don't have to worry about this, right? We don't have to worry about this. So for instance, if I just want to develop something, right? So let me add something like a user form, whereby you can fill the information. I mistakenly click on module, right? Let me just click on a user form. So let me just add something like a button. This is a button. Let me just drop it here. Now, this is a user form, right? This is a user form. So if I click on run, now you can see this form, right? So if I can design this form in such a way that the moment they click on this button, right? The moment they click on this button, it's going to take them to PowerPoint and create something. It's going to take them to Excel and create something, right? This is advanced Excel. This is what we call the VBA. Now, this is the coding aspect of Excel. This is coding aspect of Excel. We call it VBA. We call it the VBA. That is where you have it, right? VBA is used to automate tasks. So that is that on that one. So we want to talk about the monetization. You now have the skill, right? You now have the skill, right? So let's talk about the monetization. Or don't you think we should talk about it? Should we talk about this, or we should be going home? Should we talk about it, or we should be going home? I'm rounding up. We should be going home, right? We should be going home. We should talk about it. All right, so let's talk about it. That is why we are here. Okay, let's talk about it. How do I make money with the skill? Right? There are 3 ways that I've used to make money, but I'm using 2 ways now. Right? There are 3 ways that I used to make money before, but currently now I'm using 2 ways now. What language do you use to write? Do you use to code? It's just the normal VBA code. VBA has its own language, right? It's not where you write Python code or SQL code, but we are going to talk about that. Now, let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it. Now, making money with Excel, right? Making money with your new Excel skill. Now, you've just unlocked one of the most powerful digital skills out there, which is Microsoft Excel, right? So this isn't just for office work. So Excel is not just for office work. It is a tool for making money, right? And it's hidden in a plain sight, whereby everybody knows Excel, but they don't know how to make money with it, right? So whether you are looking to earn on a side, you can become a freelancer, right? Start a digital business. Now, I am a partner with Digital World Tech Academy, and Digital World Tech Academy started with just by selling courses online. That's what we started with, right? Starting a digital business or build a full-time income for yourself. Your Excel skill can open real door in today's online world. Now, if you want to make money in this online world, you don't have to be lazy, right? I need to tell you that, because you're going to get on a project. So if you don't work on that project, right? If you don't work on that project, there's no way they are going to pay you. So you should be ready to do the work, right? So now let's talk about different ways. Now, the very first way, and which is what I'm still using, is what we call freelancing. And I'm going to show you my account on Upwork, but I'm not going to show you my account on Fiverr, right? I'm going to show you my account on Upwork. I'm not going to show you my account on Fiverr. Now, let's go to Upwork. Let's go to Upwork. Now let's go to Upwork and see the work that are available there. Now, coming. Let me move out to here now. This is Fiverr, but let's leave Fiverr and go to my Upwork. I'm now a rising star, a rising talent for Upwork. Now, this rising talent, right? This rising talent is something, but don't worry, we are going to talk about it. And now, this is my account, Akim A. I'm charging $15 per hour, right? If I want to work on any project, I'm charging $15 per hour, right? Now, if you look at this, you can see data analyst, expert in Excel, VBA, Power BI, SQL, and Python, right? And I wrote some things here. And now, Upwork has even given me the opportunity to create a consultation whereby people can come to me one-on-one for a consultation, and I can set my rates, right? And I can set my rates. I'm not writing VBA code today because people that are here are new. So I'm not writing any VBA code, but I can show you some of the project. No, I can't show you some of the project because as a data analyst, you must always, confidentiality is the key. So you don't give out your project. Now, how do I apply for gigs? How do I apply for work on Upwork here? Now, if I go to my Upwork, let's see. I tell you that most of my projects are on Excel. So let's go to find work now. Let's come here and go to find work. Now, you will see series of work right here. You will see series of work right here, right? Series of work. Let me scroll down. Now, one of the things that I always tell my students is, now you can see this one. This is posted when? 8 hours ago. This is posted 8 hours ago, and they need Excel with Power BI tags, right? I'm looking for Power BI experts to assist with specific data visualization and reporting tasks. Now, this is a remote job, right? This is a remote job because it's not a one-time, right? This person has a fixed price of $20 per hour, right? Now, this work involves cleaning, transforming, building interactive dashboard. So let me show you an example of interactive dashboard I built with Power BI, right? So this is one. This is not where I save all my project. I don't know why I'm having this one. It's too small, right? So once it's come up now, I'm going to show you an example, and we are still going to build visualization with Excel, right? This is just one project, right, that I can apply for, and I'm going to just, I'm free now. You can see my availability badge is on because I'm available. I'm not working on any current project. So I will come back to apply for this project. I'll just start it, right? I'll save it. I don't save gig except if I'm in a class and I'm showing my students something and I see a project I love, then I'll just save it and apply for it. Now, let's move forward. Create a simple graph using data, right? This is Google Sheets. This is Google Sheets. And if you look at this person has spent over 10K. These are the type of people that I go for, right? These are the type of people that I go for. Let me see if that one has come up. I just click on close so that I open it up for me. Now, these are the type of people that I actually go for. People that have spent money. Yeah, this person has spent $55. Maybe this person just started, right? Now, this is on Google Sheets, right? Which means if you know Google Sheet very well, you can get gig, right? Can you see my screen? Can you all see my screen? Yes or no? Let me know if you all can see my screen. Now, can you see this? Bulk file download. All you just have to do is to download the data and extract the data, right? Download the data and extract the data. And they are going to pay you $40, right? Now, this is need Excel specialist with iPad. Now, this person is telling you that you are going to be using iPad, which means if you have iPad, you can apply for this, right? Mr. Yusuf, I think it's your network. And this is what? This is a 3-month remote job, right? And they are going to be paying you from $9 to $30. $9 to $30. I'm looking for Excel. This is also business Power BI, sample VBA job. Right now, let me tell you something. All these people that their payment has been verified, but they've not spent any money. I don't apply for this type of gig. I don't apply for this type of project, right? This type of project, I don't actually apply for it because they've not spent any money. You might end up working for these people and they will not pay you, right? So one thing you are looking for is you are looking for people that have spent money, right? That have spent money and people that they are, you know that, okay, I can work on this project. This is what I have to, this is Excel automation, right? This is, let's go down. This is data entry job, but this person has not spent any money. This is Power BI business. Right now, this is Excel freelancer, right? This is Excel freelancer. You can see a whole lot of projects right here. And if you even don't see project, this is data entry job, right? This is the data entry job, and the estimate is $200. Let me actually like this type of gig. Let me like this. I'm going to come back for it. Right now, you can see that this person has spent over $10,000 right here. Right? Over $10,000. And you can actually go up to also search for gig right here. You can actually, let's say I want to look for a data entry job. You can see the ones that I've set for, right? Data visualization, forecasting, Excel, data science with Python, right? Now you can search for it. I can do data entry with Excel. You are going to get gig on this. Now it's going to ask me to verify that I'm a human being, because always, every time, I look like robot to them. Now, every time, now you can see cohort-based Excel analysis, right? This person has not spent any money. Amazon list data tool development, right? So we are seeking for a skilled developer to do data entry, right? Assistant, virtual assistants. This is what virtual assistant need for financial advisor support. Now, what you are going to be doing here is basic data entry, right? And your right time is 3 to 5 hours per week, right? And they are going to be paying you $12 to $18, right? $12 to $18 just to work for 3 to 5 hours per week. This is a side hustle. This is what a side hustle. Data entry specialist. This person is budgeting $50. Imagine just getting $200 every week. It's enough. You don't have to do more than yourself. And this person has spent over $10,000, over $100,000 spent. This person is in Canada. I'm coming back for this person. This is just a data entry job now, right? Data entry specialist. And this person is spending $50, right? And like I said, you don't have to become a guru to start your freelancing career. This person is looking for what? Entry level, right? Entry level. And you don't have to say, okay, because you're a guru, you don't want to apply for a particular job, right? I applied for an entry level job, right? And now the person paid me over $500, just a entry level job, right? I apply. I know I'm good with Excel, fine, but that doesn't stop me from applying for a data entry job, for a data entry job, if the person is ready to pay. Am I correct? Now you can see a whole lot of projects right here. This is just on Excel. This is just on Excel, right? Imagine, let's just say you are getting $50 every week. Just $50 every week on the lowest. $50 every week. How much is $50 right now? $50 every week, right? What is the work of data entry personnel? Just do basic data entry into Excel and do some basic calculation. All you just have to do is no basic Excel formula, sum, count if, all those ones, and do data entry. Enter data into Excel or Google spreadsheets. This is Upwork, right? Now let's leave Upwork. This is you need to create an account here and verify, right? You need to create an account and verify. You can say I'm one of their rising talents, and after this rising talent, if I go to I have a lot of proposals right here that I've sent. Now, if you are lazy, like I used to say, if you are lazy, don't even bother to come into this field. Don't even bother to come into this field, because now you see, I've become one of their rising talents, which means my project now will be increased. Now you can see rising talent shows strong potential based on their profile Upwork. Basically, what they are doing for me now is, as a rising talent, they are not just showing me any type of clients. They are showing me strong potential clients, right? Strong potential clients. Now, you can't just create an account today and become a rising talent. No, it doesn't work that way. Can you hear me? It doesn't work that way. You must be ready to work. You must be active. Yeah. You must be ready to work. You must work on gig before you can get to a rising talent position. Send out proposals. Right? Now, these rising talents now, what's going to show you now is they are not just going to show you anyhow people. They are going to show you people that are ready to pay you for what you know. Right? Upwork is free. You don't have to pay anything for that. But we are still going to talk about that later. Now, let's go to Fiverr. Fiverr is still another way. Someone said, I saw a comment that said, I create a Fiverr gig and I have not gotten anything. That's because you don't know how to do it. Now, let's do data entry. Still the same data entry. I love data entry work because it doesn't stress me. It's what I do every time. And I do data visualization. Now, if you do data entry, now you said you don't have gig, right? You don't have gig. So I'm good at writing proposal. you get clients replying to my proposal, but they ghost you a lot. Yes, it happens to everybody now. It happens to everybody. On Upwork, they are going to ghost you. It happens. But there are still ways that I use. So if I'm sending you a proposal on Upwork, I'm looking for your information and sending you another proposal on LinkedIn. I will look for your email. I have a way of getting their email. I'll send them a proposal on email. Look for their information on different social media platforms. You must be very, very intentional if you are ready to make money on this. You must be very, very intentional. Right? That's why I said if you are lazy, don't even bother to come into the freelancing world. Because the very first thing is you need to have the skill. You must be ready to learn. Right? After learning, then now you are selling out your skill. Right? Now, the next thing is let's go. Now, for someone that said I created a Fiverr account, this is just a level 2. This is just a level 2 person that has gotten 68 gigs just on data entry work. I will do any data entry work accurately. This is just a level 2 person. This is just a level 2, right? And this person has gotten over 68 jobs. Now, this person also has gotten 33 jobs, and this person is charging $25 per data entry, right? $25. Just imagine you are getting 2 data entry gig per day, right? This person has gotten 259 gig, right? And is charging $25. The same thing with this person, 778. Now, the question is, how do they do it that they are getting this gig? I am not getting. That's the question. You should be ready to learn things, right? These people, they don't have 2 heads. They are also human beings. So how do they do it? Right? Those are the things you should be ready to learn. Right? That is one. Now, I wanted to show you a visualization on Power BI. Remember, I saw a project on Power BI. So this is a visualization that I did for a company, right, on Power BI. This is a visualization. Now, this visualization, I charge $50 to create this. $50 to just create this, right? $50 to just create this. But I'm not just good. The reason why I'm moving faster here is because I don't want you to get the information on the dashboard because it's for organization, right? So I'm going to close it. Now, apart from doing freelancing, are you guys learning something? Are you seeing something? Are you guys seeing something? Yes or no? Let me know if you are learning something. Are you seeing something? Yes or no? Now you're saying you need the skill, and you also need to know where to sell the skill. It's not just about learning and learning the skill. Where do you sell the skill? It's very, very important, right? It's very, very important. Now, apart from freelancing, the next thing is selling your template. Selling templates. Now, how do I get templates? Now, you can sell templates on Ecstasy and Gumroad. Now, I actually don't do this again, right? I used to do it before, but I don't do it again. Now, how do you get those templates? If you go to Excel, right? If you go to Excel and you come here to New, you will see a whole lot of templates right here. A whole lot of templates that you can take and turn it to your own, right? If someone wants a budget template, I'll just come here to budget, right? When I first started, I used to do this. I've made a lot of money with this, right? I'll just come here, pick a template, turn it to my own, and sell it, right? But actually don't do this again because it's kind of stressful. Another thing that I also do, right, is selling a course, teaching online. Teaching Excel course online is very, very profitable. Like the course I recorded 3 years ago, I'm still selling it up till date. The course I recorded 3 years ago, I'm still selling it up till date, right? So now, where do you sell your course? For me, I run advert to sell my course. I run advert on Facebook to sell my course, right? Now, but I also put it on Udemy. Now, if you go to Udemy, the courses you are going there to buy, who recorded it? Are they not human beings? Are they telling you that, okay, you can't do it? Who says you can't do it? All you just have to do is calm down, learn the skill, record it. There are people that are willing to pay you for that. There are people that are willing to pay you for that, right? So record it. Now, when I first started, I did not even have LMS, right? I did not have LMS. I put it on my Google Drive, and I was selling the Google Drive to people. right? I was selling the Google Drive to people. So if you come to my DM now that you want to buy, you will pay my money, then I will send you the Google Drive. Then the moment you access the Google Drive, you can download it and watch it at your own convenient time, right? Are you still here with me? Are you still here with me? Are you still here with me? Right? Are you still here with me? Let me know if you are still here with me. Are you learning something? Right? Those are the 3 ways I've used to make money, right? And you can still use it. You can still use it. Now, let's do a little bit of practical. Let's do a little bit of practical. Let's do a little bit of practical. Now, let's start with the very first thing that people are charging higher for, right? The very first thing is forecasting. Forecasting. People are charging as high as, I've gotten a project on forecasting that I charge $200, just one project on forecasting, right? Now, how do we do forecasting? Forecasting is very, very easy. So I'm going to open just a data set, a dummy data set. Now, this is a data set, right? Now, let's say we want to forecast this data set now, right? We want to forecast this data set. Now, you can see this is from 2012 to 2021 data set. Now, they ask us to forecast this. And in each year, they get 3 information. They get their forecast on, this is April, right? They get June. This is 7 July. They get their forecast in July. And also they get their forecast in October, right? So for their 2012, for April, their forecast, their sales was $17,000, right? For July, their sales was $20,000, right? And for October, their sales was $18,000. Now, the thing is, they asked me, they've given me this data, right? And now the question is, they asked me to forecast for 2025. Now, you can see their information stops here in 2021. So what they want me to do is forecast from 2022 to 2025, right? I'm going to charge, if I get this type of gig, I'm going to charge $50 to $100 because this is not really a hard forecast, right? Now, how do I do this type of forecasting? I never do any forecast less than $50. Any forecasting job, I never do it less than $50, no matter how small it is. I never do it less than $50. You can see my Upwork. I charge $15 per hour. If I'm working on a gig for you and you are paying me per hour, you are going to pay me $15 per hour, right? This is stated right here, and I have some notification right here. Maybe I've gotten a gig. I'll turn off my my availability, but maybe I will have gotten a gig. Now you see, now I charge $15 per hour right here, $15 per hour. Now, if I want to work on forecasting, right, I charge nothing less than $50. Now, how do I do the forecasting? How do I do the forecasting? So the very first thing I will do is just go to my data tab. Right. In my data tab, all I have to do is come to this forecast sheet. Just click on forecast sheet, right? And I need it to end in 2025. Forecast end. I need it to end in 2025, October 31st. 31st 10, 2025. Simple as this. All I just have to do is click on create. And this will do the forecasting for me and give me the chart, right? You don't do forecasting manually, right? You don't do it manually. Excel will do it for you and you can easily get it, right? So now this is their own information and it stops here in 2021, right? But you can see we have the lower confidence and the upper confidence. We are going to get there later. Now you can see Excel has forecasted for me from 2021 till 2025. And you can see their forecasting result. Now, you remember I said it can either be lower or higher than the actual forecast, right? So this is the actual forecast. This is the actual forecast sales. Now, I'm telling them that, okay, in a situation whereby they did not really do much, right? They can generate the lower confidence, which is the lower bound, the minimum they should generate. And even if they do so much, this is like their upper bound, right? This is their upper bound. You can see this is their upper bound. This is just a forecast. And all I just have to do is write a report for them on this, explain everything for them, right? And I'll collect my own $50. Simple as this. I'm not writing any code. I'm not writing any code. All I just have to do is basic arrangement. I'll just do arrangement, make sure that it fits in well, put in a bit of chart, and I'm good to go. I'll just give it to them, put it in the PowerPoint slide, explain it to them. Then I'll just, can you display a report? No, I can't. Remember, as a data analyst, data is very, very confidential. What I have here, I can't use a real life project for you, right? So if you are working on a project, make sure that you don't share it. It's very, very confidential. You don't share a client's data. You don't share what? A client's data. You understand? So it's very, very confidential. Now, another thing that they pay for, right? Another thing that they pay for is what? Is visualization. Visualization. Data visualization. If you check my Upwork, you notice that I search for data visualization, right? I search for data visualization, right? I used to get gig on data visualization because the money used to be higher, right? Data visualization. So for instance, let's say they asked me to get the total revenue for each month, right? So they want to see their total revenue for each month. That's what they asked me to get. Now, the very first thing I always, let's say this is data they gave to me, and the very first thing I would do is to put my data in a table. If you remember, in advanced Excel, I mentioned table, right? And I said a table is used to show what? Relationship between your data, right? A table is used to show relationship between your data. So the very first thing I'll do is to put my data in a table. So I'll go to insert, then I'll click on table, right? Another way to get table is to use Control T. So if I do Control T, right, and just click on OK, this will put my data in a table. Now, the question is, they asked me to get the total revenue by each month. But if you look at my data here, I don't have month here. I just have the date. So the very first thing I'll do is to extract what? The month, right? It's to extract the month. So I'll come here and go to Insert. Now, let me show you an example why table is important. Let me remove it from a table. So for instance, let's say I want to extract a month. Now, if I go to Insert and I want to extract the month name, right? So I come to here and say equals to text, right? Select the date, come here in double quotes, quotes, close my bracket and press enter. Now, if you notice, it does it for only one cell, right? It did it for only one cell, right? But now, if I have my data in a table, let's put it back in a table, Control T, and press OK. Now, if I have my data in a table, and let's say I want to get the month name, right? I'll just say equals to text, select the date, comma, in double quotes, double quotes, close my bracket. Do you see the difference? It did it for everything at once. Because now, because my data is in a table, I know that Excel now knows, okay, all these data are related. If something happens to one cell, it should happen to every other thing, right? That is importance of putting your data in a table. Now, let's go to visualize. Let's visualize it. Summarize the pivot table. Let's go to the pivot table aspect. I'll just click on OK, right? Now, I want to get the total revenue for each month. So since I have my month name here, I'll just drag and drop my month name here. It's going to give me all my month name, right? Now I want the revenue, drag and drop the revenue here. And here, now I can decide to change it to dollar, right? It depends on whatever currency the person is using. So let's say I want to put it in dollar, right here. Now they asked me to visualize it, right? So they want to see it in visual. So I'll come here and just click on pivot charts. And here, let me just use the chart given to me by Excel. And I'll just click on OK. Look at it. Simple as this. I've gotten a result. Visualization. And with this, I can build multiple dashboards. And here, they can pay me for this. They can pay me just for this alone. How many minutes does this take me? It takes me practically less than 5 minutes to do one chart. Right? To do one chart. So now, at this point, Before we go to the question and answer section, how many of you are feeling like, wow, this is great? Like Hakeem has given me too much. I need to blow off my head before we go into the question and answer section. How many of you are feeling like this man right now? Let me know, let me know, let me know. Right? Now, you know the skill. You know where to sell the skill. You know how to monetize the skill. Now, I have a question for you. I have a question for you. The question is, how many of us here today would love to become a pro, right? How many of us here today would love to become a pro at Excel and also monetize it, right? You want to become a pro, but not just becoming a pro. You want to monetize it. Now, a lot of people are saying, hi, me, myself. Let me tell you, there are three types of people here, right? People that are ready to take action, right? People that are lazy, they don't want to even learn anything. They just want to sleep at home. And we have people that they just want to learn. They don't want to take action. Now, if you are lazy, learning something will become very hard for you, right? There are days whereby I get back from office around 7 or 8, right? I still have to take classes, work on projects. Sometimes I sleep around 2, I sleep around 3, I sleep around 4 sometimes. And I still have to wake up the next day to take classes, to work on projects, to study. I still have my study time, right? Are you willing to sacrifice a little bit of your time, right? If you are lazy, don't even bother. Don't even bother to come into any tech field, because you have to keep on learning and learning and learning every single day, right? You have to be ready. How many of us are ready right now to sacrifice, right? To sacrifice their time and ready to learn? If you are ready to learn, sacrifice your time, right? And take action. It's not just about learning, taking action. Like I was in a webinar last week and one of my students joined. It was like, okay, I've learned it and I've not created my Fiverr account. My question was, why? You've learned how to create a Fiverr account, how to do it. Then why haven't you done it? You will learn it, you will be taught, but you are not ready to take action, right? So now, that's why I came up with what we call the Ultimate Excel Masterclass and Income Blueprint. It's a masterclass for the next 6 weeks. It's a 6 weeks masterclass. It's a 6 weeks masterclass. It comes up every Friday and Saturday, where myself and my team will be teaching you all of the data working in the data analysis field, right? And freelancing field. We'll be teaching you how to analyze data and how to monetize the skill. It's not just about analyzing. How can you monetize? You can be in your house and be doing projects, right? How can you take all these action? So we are going to be teaching you for the next 6 weeks. Now, in these 6 weeks, what are you going to learn? Let's talk about what you are going to learn. Microsoft Excel from total basic to advanced. We are going to start from the total basics of Excel to advanced. So which means we assume that you don't have any knowledge. You don't even have any background knowledge at all, right? So we are starting from introduction to Excel, right? You are going to learn over 50 Microsoft Excel formula. It's not for kids. It's not a joke. You are going to learn over 50 Microsoft Excel formula. Over 50 Microsoft Excel formula, right? Data validation with Microsoft Excel. How can you do? Wait now, let me tell you what you are going to learn, right? Data validation with Microsoft Excel. How can you validate a row? Now, there are some data sets you will see that you won't be able to enter data in a certain column, right? Because it is validated. How do you do something like that? It's a way of protecting your sheet, right? How can you validate your data? How can you work with dates and time, right? Data cleaning with Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Excel table, Microsoft Excel pivot table, right? Pivot table, what we just did today is just breeze through. We could not even go in depth. How to work with charts. Now, you just see some visualization. you will see different charts, and you'll be like, why do they use this chart? So you need to know why to use a chart and the type of chart to use and when to use it, right? It's not just about picking anyhow charts. As an analyst, you must know the function of each chart, right? Slicer and timeline, right? How can you work with slicer and timeline to make your dashboard responsive? So let me show you an example of a responsive dashboard, right? To make your dashboard responsive. So I'm coming. So if you have a dashboard that looks like this, how can you make it responsive? How can you make it add a button whereby if they click on this, they want to see 2014 information, they will see it. They want to see 2015 information, they will see it. They want to see 2016 information, they will see it. How can you work with it? This is an example of a slicer. How can you work with it, right? How can you add it to your own visualization, right? Data manipulation, dashboard creation. How can you work with forecasting? Now, another thing is, in the freelancing aspect, you are going to learn how to create an amazing resume. So we are going to start with the freelancing aspect. How can you create a resume? If you want to apply for a gig on Fiverr, right, or on Upwork, you will see some people will ask you for your resume. How can you create an amazing resume? We have some people that have been using one CV for the past 3 years. I know you are here, right? There are some people that have been using just one CV for the past 3 years. One CV, which is not a good practice. A CV should be tailored to a specific project or to a specified work, right? How can you create a CV that is tailored to what you are? Now, let's say you want to apply for a data analysis job now, and you are showing me that, okay, you've done, let's say, office assistant before. How does office assistant relate to data analysis, right? But you are still using that same CV to apply for other jobs too. Obviously, they are not going to give you a job because you are showing you want to apply for data analysis. You are giving me CV for office assistants. It doesn't really make sense, right? How can you create an amazing resume that is tailored, right? Freelancing, portfolio creation. You need to have a portfolio, right? You must create a portfolio. Let me show you an example of my own portfolio. You must have a portfolio. This is my own portfolio, right? I'm waiting for it to load. You must have a portfolio. So a portfolio contains your project, right? Where your project is stored, right? Where your project is stored. That's what we call a portfolio. So you are going to learn GitHub, how to create a GitHub, how to create a GitHub repositories, right? How to create a GitHub repository. So this is my own portfolio. You can see Akim Abiodun. This is my own portfolio. You must have a portfolio because if you want to apply for gig, you must be ready to send in like the job that you've worked on before. Do you understand? So how to create a portfolio, right? How to optimize your LinkedIn account. Because you remember I said I send projects, I send people's info. Like if I'm applying for a project on Upwork, I'll look for your name and search for you on LinkedIn, then send you a proposal on LinkedIn, right? Now, if my LinkedIn is not fully optimized, are you going to answer me? You are not going to answer me. You are not even going to accept my proposal, right? And you will see some clients, they will do research about you. They want to know you. They want to see your LinkedIn also, right? So now, how much is this package going for? Now, let me tell you what you're still going to get. Apart from a live class, this is a live class, you are going to get over 40 recorded video. All my recorded video on Excel, you are going to get it, right? All my recorded video on Excel, you are going to get it, right? 6 weeks live coaching and support mentorship, right? It's a live class just like this on Zoom every Friday and Saturday, right? Excel handouts and real life data sets. So you are going to be getting data sets, right? So weekly Excel tips, done with you projects, class from other experts. So I'm not just the only one that will train you. You are going to be in class with other experts, right? You are going to meet Mr. Jide, Mr. Ayo, and co. Then you are going to get certificate at the end of the program. You are going to get a project. You are going to write an exam before you get your certification, right? So now, how can you record and sell your first course online? How to do that? We're also going to talk about that. How to apply for remote jobs. How to write proposals. We are going to talk about that. And if you are so good, you can work with us directly. Now, the question is, how much do you think I should charge you for this? How much do you think I should charge you for this? How much? How much? For my premium class, if you are coming for my premium class, it is 350,000. If you are coming for my premium class. Now, because of salary period, right? Because of salary period, I'm giving you the opportunity now. 5K. I've never collected 5K for any project in my life. Even my video, I don't sell it 5K. So 5K is no. Go up a bit. Go up more. I'm waiting. How much do you think? 5K is too small. 6K, 7K. No. 20K. All right. I can consider that. 20K. Someone said 20K. 10K. Okay. I can consider that too. 15K. 100K. All right. So now, how much am I charging you for this? This class is going for just 40,000 naira if you're in Nigeria. And if you're in Ghana, it's 400 Ghana cedis. If you're in Kenya, the price will be in the group, right? And it's just 14,000 sefa. Now, I want to do a Salah promo for all of you. A Salah promo for all of you. For the very first 20 people that will pay before the end of this webinar. Before the end of this webinar. For the very first 20 people that will pay just 10,000 naira to join this live class is a Salah promo. For the very first 20 people. I just added this slide this night, right? For the actual price is 40,000. If you come to me tomorrow, the price is 40,000. If you come to me anytime, the price is 40,000. So very first 20 people that will pay before this webinar will end. We have less than 5 minutes. How much is it in Kenya shillings? It's 1,000 Kenya shillings, right? So it's just 10,000 naira if you are in Nigeria, right? 10,000 naira if you are in Nigeria. And if you are in Ghana, it's just 100 Ghana cedis, right? If you are in Kenya, it's 1,000 Kenya shillings. The account number has been dropped in the group. And if you are in Cameroon, it's just 4,000 sefa, right? It's just 4,000 sefa. Now you are paying into my business account, MoneyPoint Digital World Tech Academy Online. This is for the Nigerians, right? If you're in Ghana, you are paying into Voda Cash, right? If you're in Cameroon, you are paying into this account, Momo. Now, the account, if you're in Kenya, you are paying into M-Pesa, right? Mr. Samuel, you've been in one of my webinars before. Send me a DM, Mr. Samuel. All right. For the very first 20 people that will pay tonight, you are still going to get another promo. Right? LinkedIn Optimization Masterclass. The account number has been dropped in the group. So you can pick it in the group and start making your payments. Before this webinar will end, though, right? Now, LinkedIn Optimization Masterclass, right? Now, how to record and sell your first course online. We are going to talk about that. Remote job success guide. You are also going to get complete Microsoft Word course and complete PowerPoint course. Now, you're also going to get direct access to the LMS, right? Where all my recorded video are there, right? So the moment you make your payment, you drop your payment proof in the group. Now we have like 10 more minutes before this class will end. Now, the moment you make your payment, you drop your payment proof in the group. Now you will get a registration form. Make sure that you fill the correct information inside that registration form. The moment you fill the correct information, within 24 hours, now you'll be added to the paid group tonight, right? Within 24 hours, you are going to get a receipt. You are going to get a receipt that looks like this, right? You are going to get something that looks like this. It's 100 Ghana cedis. You are going to get something that looks like this, right? So this is access to LMS, to the learning management system. Now, you will see your email and your login details, your password. So if you click on study data analysis, study, it's going to take you directly to our LMS, right? Where students log in. Now, another way to get to this place is if you go to our website, digitalworldtech.academy, right? digitalworldtech.academy, just click on student login. Student login. So you will use the login detail that is on your receipt. That's what you use to log in, right? So just log in. So once you log in, Cameroon is 4,000 CFA. Once you log in, you can see I have 3 courses here. But for you, you are going to have 1 course, right? So just click on my course. Just click on my course. Now you can see I have video editing course, I have digital marketing course, but the one you are going to get access to is data analysis. Now, if you are paying tonight, you are getting the full access to all my recorded video and classes on data analysis. The LMS is yours forever. So just click on study, right? Click on study. Now, this will take you to where you can start going through the video. Now, this video is a support system, right? It's just to support you. The class is a live class, right? The class is a live class. So just click on this.
So welcome to the data analytics masterclass.
So here now, you can see, right? Now, this is introduction to Excel, right? This is introduction to Excel that you can actually go through, right? Now, if you are paying tonight, you will get access to all Excel videos, Power BI videos, right? Power BI videos, SQL videos, and you are still going to get access to these bonuses, right? How to create a portfolio, how to upload a project on portfolio. Though we are still going to teach you in the live class, you are still going to learn it in the live class, but it's here just as a support. Now you are still going to get access to Python Essential, right? Introduction to data science, introduction to Python, Python variables. Now all these things are what you can watch, right? You can go through it at your own leisure time. You can go through it at your own leisure time.
Also, that can take input from the user.
All right. This is an example of this is what you are going to get access to. All right, let me start taking questions. If you have question, let me take 1 or 2 questions. We have 5 minutes left for people that are going to pay. If you are paying, we have 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left. And how many people do we have left? Let me see the number of people that we have left. You've paid already. Once you make your payment, drop your payment proof in the group. Let me see the number of people that we have left to pay. Let me see. How many people do we have? Let me ask my assistants. How many people do we have left? Uncle Sir, how many people do we have left? The M-Pesa account is in the group. How many people do we have left? How many slots do we have left? We are giving 20 people. How many slots do we have left? Okay. They said we have 10 more slots. 10 more slots, right? Okay. 10 more slots. How much do we agree? It's just 10,000 naira. 10 more slots, right? We have 10 more slots left. 10 more. How about SQL, Python, and R class? SQL is there, Python is there, right? Just do a screenshot and drop it in the group. The M-Pesa account has been dropped in the group, right? The M-Pesa account has been dropped in the group. All right, let me take Mr. Ibrahim. It has been dropped in the group. Once you make it's just 10,000 naira to join the class. It's just 10,000 naira to join the class. All right.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, boss.
Yeah, please, I would like you to reconsider this method because it somehow makes us digress trying to see how we make payment, and maybe after all, you still reconsider others. So I think the ultimate thing about these classes you are holding, they are not just because doing it because of the money. You are doing it to make people better. So
Yes.
I think you should look at it in a better way. I'm an
Now,
elderly person anyway, so I think
all
in
right,
another way.
all right, no
Yeah,
problem. Daddy has
thank you.
spoken. Daddy has spoken. Don't worry. Daddy said I should give more slots, right? That is what Daddy said. I should give more slots. So I'm going to give extra 10 more people. That is 20 people more, right? This is a live class whereby I'm not taking in much people, right? There's already students in the group. There are students there already in the group. So you are just going to join them, right? And you start the class together. So Daddy has spoken. He said I should give more slots, right? I should give more slots. Mr. Abdul, please unmute. Can you have access to the recorded video? Yes, I will drop the slide and the recorded video in the group and the data set that I use for the practical so you can download it. All right, good evening, boss.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
And thank you for this initiative.
You're
I really
welcome, sir.
appreciate. Please, based on me, I think I'm very far and then not. I'll be using the Momo number. I'm a Cameroonian, but I'm not living
Yeah,
in Cameroon. So for me to
yeah,
do the transaction now
yeah,
at this hour,
yeah.
it will be difficult. So I
Okay.
think it will be preferably I will be doing it tomorrow in the morning.
Ah, that means you not get access to the bonuses. Well, just send me a DM.
Uh,
Let's see. Let's see, because you're just taking 20 more people. Because of that, that's why I added extra 10 more. So, but just send me a DM. Just send me a DM. Let's see what we can do. Just send me a
okay,
WhatsApp
thank you, sir.
message. All right. We have Bukumi, Madam Bukumi, please unmute.
Hello, good evening,
Oh,
sir.
Mr. Bukumi, good evening, boss.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Really appreciate for your effort and your support. Please, the first one you did, maybe the last one you did, I joined and I paid half payment. That's I paid for two people. That's me and my colleague.
Okay.
But unfortunately, me, I'm very, very busy at work, so I couldn't able to join the class. I didn't know maybe I can continue my lecture right now. But
Yes,
then I paid
sir,
25,000,
sir,
15,000 for my colleague, 10,000 for myself. But I
sir.
didn't know maybe I can still.
Yeah. Can you hear me? The class you are
Yes, I
talking
can hear you,
about, they
sir.
are done with the monetization process. Now they are in Excel. They are in Excel. So if you are really, if you are going to join them, you have to go through the recorded videos too. Because they are almost rounding up
Okay.
now. They are almost rounding up. It's just
Yes, but I can't. That means I can't join this one, right? Or that means if I want to join this one, I have to pay for this one,
just
right?
send me a DM. Send me a DM. We'll talk on WhatsApp. Let's know where to.
Oh, okay. I'll do that, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Where is the class holding? The class is every Friday and Saturday. It's a live class on Zoom, right? It's a live class on Zoom. Mr. Samuel, please send me a DM, Mr. Samuel. There's no way to do payment. So the time I pay, let me get it back. Send me a DM, Mr. Samuel. Send me a DM. We have 4 minutes left. 4 minutes left, and we have how many slots left? Out of these 20 people now, we have 15 more slots, right? Yeah, we have 15 more slots. Friday and Saturday, 8:30 to 10 p.m. Nigerian time, same time Cameroonian time, right? If you are in Ghana, it's 7:30 to 9. I'm already in one of your class. What do I do? If you're already in the class, all you have to do is start taking action. Mr. S. Gian, all you have to do is to start taking action. If you can raise your hand, have you are in Excel, right? Because the class, they are done with the monetization aspect. They are now in Excel. They are rounding up their class. Is that correct? Is that correct? If you can raise your hand. In SQL, that is the full data analysis. You are in SQL class already. just send me a DM. You are in the full data analysis program. Don't worry about this, right? Just send me a DM. All right, you are new here. Can I reach you privately? Yeah, sure. You can send me a DM on WhatsApp direct. All right, we have 2 minutes left before the price goes back up. Okay, no problem. We have 2 minutes left before the price goes back up. 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left before the price goes back up. 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left. And Daddy said I should give more people, right? Please, I'm making transfer. It's not going through. Michael Mercy, send me a DM. But keep trying. If you do multiple transfer, don't worry, we'll refund you. I'll be available for the first 1 hour because of work. Yes, you don't worry. Even if you miss a class, you will get access to the replay of that particular class. So for those people that has already been in my class, they know if they miss a class, they will have access to the replay of that particular class. So if you can even join for 1 hour, that's fine. You will have access to the replay of that particular class. Do you understand? So this is my number directly on the screen. This is my number. Abdul Malik, Mr. Abdul Malik said he wants to unmute. Please unmute, Mr. Abdul Malik. I've unmuted you.
Yeah, all right, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, boss.
Sir, actually, my question is, I've paid already. But my
Okay.
question is, are we going to have access to you personally, and are we going to have access to your community?
Yes, you have access to me directly, and you have access to all the lecturers I'll take you.
Okay, because I paid for one class like that on dropshipping or something.
Okay.
The person just gave us course and he
No.
abandoned us. Like, we didn't even have access to the
No,
person.
no,
Just
no, no,
so
no. This is
I
a
hope
live
it will
class.
not be something like that.
No, this is a live class. It's a live class. Wow.
Right, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. It's a live class. All right. This is my number on the screen, and you can pick my number from the group also. This is my number on the screen, +23491 1614 2614. Mr. Pastor Richard, you want to unmute? Sorry, please give me a minute. Pastor Richard, want to unmute? Mr. Richard, Mr. Richard, oh yeah, please unmute. Please unmute, please unmute, please unmute. Okay, I'm giving 5 more minutes for people because I'm still answering questions. My number, here's my number on the screen. Can the practical be done with? You will need a laptop for your practical, please. Pastor
Good evening.
Richard, good evening, sir. Please go ahead.
Sorry, where I am, I can't actually get access to payment because I went for a project and I'm in a village side, but I just managed to join the Zoom, and of which I see it as a privilege. Can I pay tomorrow? Because where I am, I don't have access to payments and all those things, and I'm willing to be part of it.
Wow. What are we going to do? I don't know.
Consider some of us that are really eager to do these things. I think you should look at the interest in it, and temper a little bit on the timing, please.
Okay, let's see. Don't worry. If let me speak with my PA that is here, right? So let me know the number of people that we have left. If there is slots left, I'm going to give more time for you tomorrow. Right?
Okay.
But before the end of the
Thank you.
webinar, I'll talk about it. All right. So I'm somewhat far away from the moment and try severally to access my bank account, but can't get. Mr. Ikechukwu send me a DM. All right. Okay. I'm waiting. The price is going back up in 3 minutes. So if you have a question, please ask your question before we call it a day. The price is going back up in 3 minutes. Can I pay to my access bank doesn't have network? It's raining. Okay. We have 3 minutes left before the price. If you are willing, you can pay 40,000 tomorrow now, right? You can pay 40,000 tomorrow. Can I unmute Ja? J-A-A-H. Ja, oh yeah, please unmute. The class is going to be a live class. You'll be added to the paid group, right? You'll be added to the paid group. So once you're added to the paid group, there's the link to join the class, just like the same link today, will be dropped in the group. So that is the link you will use to join the class. Do you understand? When is the class starting? The
All
class
right, good
start.
evening.
Yeah, good evening. Please go ahead, sir.
All right, please. I wanted to ask, what's the scope of the Python classes you talked about?
Now, this is not a Python class. This is basic to advanced Excel and monetization toolkit. You understand? So we are not taking Python. Do you understand?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But in our data science class, that's where we do Python. But you need to be good with Excel before you can start Python. That's my own advice.
Okay, meaning we have a separate class for that.
Yes, there's advanced class. So finish one first before you go for that one.
It's all right. Thank you.
You're welcome. I have one more person raising up. Mr. Desmond, please unmute.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, boss.
Yes, sir. Let me appreciate your your presentation. It's a very nice one.
Thank you,
Quick to
sir.
the question. I
Okay.
just want to ask whether there is a real-time, something like real-time reporting, as in with the use of Excel in your package.
Okay, writing a report, right?
No, real-time reporting. Maybe if somebody is in a community now,
Yes.
and you have to send a particular either data
You are breaking.
happening live as in simultaneously.
Oh, no, we
Real
don't,
time.
you can't do that with Excel because except if you are using the Excel web, you understand? Or you are using something like, what is this thing called? I'm coming, let me go to Excel. And if you are using this autosave and you are live, you are joining with live. So which means the moment you are publishing your data, right, it's showing directly on Excel. Do you understand? So you have to be using like the Excel web, not this type of Excel.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
not
Thank
this
you very
type of
much.
Excel. And it has to be connected directly to the database. So the moment they enter the data, wherever they are, it's going to show up right here. So we have something that we call Power BI service. Is an example of something like that, whereby people collaborate, right? So you don't have to be in a certain location to work, right? Wherever you are, whenever you enter a data into something, it's going to automatically populate so that and they can see it wherever they are in the world. You understand?
Okay.
Does
Okay.
that
Thank
answer
you
your
very much.
question?
Yes. 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 Thank you very much.
All right, welcome. All right. Okay. Is there any other question? Right. Is there any other question? Is there any other question? Is half payment accepted? No, there's no half payment. All right. That is that for tonight. I think we're done here. I think our price has increased back to 40,000 for everybody that wants to pay. Right. You are in my DM. Okay. Our class as the money is for what class? It's for the advanced class. It's for the advanced class. Right. The money is for the advanced class. For people that want to join, we are giving out a 6 weeks live class, right? So we're going to talk about the monetization, how you can monetize your skills, setting up Upwork accounts, doing LinkedIn optimization, portfolio creation, and the likes, right? We are talking about that. And also we are talking about learning Excel from the total basic to advanced, right? We are learning data visualization. We are learning over 50 Microsoft Excel formula and the likes. That is what we are paying for. And it's a 6 weeks live class. So even if you miss this webinar, the replay will be dropped in the group and you can actually go over it at your own leisure time. Now, I remember something for the sake of Daddy. Daddy said something that I should give more time, right? Yeah, it's a total beginner. So we are starting from the total basics, right? We are starting from the total basics, from the total basics, from the total basics. You understand? We are starting from the total basics. Do you understand? So now for the total, when shall we expect ourselves? You're going to be in the advanced group tonight. You are going to be added to the advanced group tonight, and within 24 hours, you will get access to the LMS. within 24 hours, and you also get the link to join the class. Whatever information, all the information will be dropped in the group, right? Is there a certificate? Yes, you're going to get a certificate at the end of the program. For those asking for my private personal number, this is my personal number, +234 9116 142614. That's my number, right? That's my number. When is the class starting? We are supposed to start the class this Friday, but because of Salah break, we are moving it to next week. The class is starting next week, but the information will be dropped in your group that there will be Salah break, right? Because of our Muslim, I'm also a Muslim, right? Because of our Muslim brothers and sisters, so we are giving out a Salah break this week. So we are going to resume next week, right? Friday, what time? 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Nigerian time. If you are in Cameroon, still the same time. If you are in Ghana, 7:30 to 9 p.m. Ghanaian time. Do you understand? All right. So that is the okay. Now, you paid 100 cedis. Send me a DM. Send me a DM. You can call. No, my location. On Saturday, I will be working. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be working on Saturdays. I'll be in my house. I'll not go to the office. I'll be in my house, but I'll be working on project. I'm not going anywhere. I'll just order food. I'll just order food. I'll be in my house. Kenya, what time? Kenya is going to be 10:30. It's going to be 10 p.m. Kenya time, right? How much am I paying? It's just 10,000 naira for the next 24 hours. Yes, for the next 24 hours. Work at the pace. We are starting from the total basics. Because I have a lot of things to cover tonight, that is why that is why I have to rush it. But we are starting from the total basics. So if you have your payments, you can make the payment tonight, right? But if you don't have the payment, you can pay it within 24 hours before the price. The actual price is 40,000. The actual price is 40,000. But because of daddy, that's why I extended it to the next 24 hours. 24 hours, and because of people that said they're in a remote location. But once we have up to 20 people, we are going to let you know, right? You can send me a DM anytime, any day. All right. We should leave the WhatsApp group open. The WhatsApp group will be open. How can I get new Excel? Just send me a DM, right? It has finally worked. Okay, that's great. That's great. Well done. Just drop your payment proof in the group, right? So our admin will confirm. All right. Thank you all very much. So whether you joined the class or you did not join the class, hope you're able to learn something tonight. Were you able to learn something tonight? Yes or no? Yes or no? Whether you're able to join or you did not join, were you able to learn something tonight? At least you can start something yourself, right? Whether you join the class or you did not join the class, you can still start up something yourself. But I would strongly advise you, if you have the money, you can join the class, right? You can join the class, right? You can join the class. You can join the class so that you get more knowledge about it. You know, sir, I see debit alert. Drop your okay. All right. Thank you very much. We are going to meet again with our class, right? We are going to meet again in class on Friday, which is next week. You learn text. Okay, that's great. All right, that's great. Well done. You are going to learn more formulas also. You are going to learn more and more formula. So thank you all for joining us today, right? I hope to see you in class, right? And thank you all. You can still make your payment tonight. It's just 10,000 naira. It's just 10,000 to join for the next 24 hours. But if you are coming to me on Saturday, the price will go back to 40,000. If you message any of the admin, the price will go back to 40,000 after 24 hours. So Control T for table. There's still a whole lot of shortcuts. Control Shift. Before you go, let me give you one more keyboard shortcut. Control Shift L for what? For filter. That is another keyboard shortcut. Control Shift and L for filter. That is another keyboard shortcut. All right. Thank you all for joining tonight's class. I really appreciate all of you, right? And hope to see you in class by the special grace of God after Salah for filter, right? So now, for those of us that are traveling for Salah, if you are coming to class, right, please bring your Salah to class. Monetization and Excel, yes. All right, during the 24 hours, you can call and chat me anytime. The 24 hours is just for your payment. Do you understand? The 24 hours is just for your payment. You can call and chat me at any time, right? Thank you all very much and hope to see you in class by the special grace of God. Good night and enjoy the rest of... I don't work with a radio station, no. Good night and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.